Hey guys, Dr. Erin here. I'm so excited to be talking about dating, love, and relationships. And we have an incredible expert today, Andrea Sirtash, who is a dating expert and an author. She's an on-air personality. She's been on everything from Good Morning America, OWN, you name it. She's here, right now. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
I'm so excited to meet you. And I'm so excited because my night got rocked last night when I was researching all the stuff and I came upon the viral video of orgasmic meditation. You're speaking my language because I am big into meditation. So,
well, it's funny. I was meditating last night, but it wasn't orgasmic. But anyway, that is a video that I worked on for the New York Post. Which was viral within the first 24 hours, and maybe not surprising because it's called orgasmic meditation.
Right. So anyone listening in, it's basically it's a practice, kind of a movement, if you will, around the man touching the woman's clitoris, or maybe if you're gay, a woman touching the woman's clitoris for 15 minutes, uninterrupted, kind of not without any, I think that in our culture as women, we have so much pressure to have an orgasm, and I think that's the point of it, right?
It is. I mean, the people who are involved in this movement, and I was there as a journalist, a reporter covering this, so I don't practice this, but I really respect the people who do because they're very committed to being present, deep breathing, and helping women connect to their orgasm.
Right.
And a lot of people do need
we
help
all
with
need
that.
to connect to
Do
their
you have
orgasm,
tissues?
right?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly. Well, they say 75% of women have never had an orgasm with intercourse, so that's just tragic.
There's a lot of education we need around sex in general and women's joy in sex, frankly. Yeah.
Right. So I love the titles of your books, and I know that. Let's see. Well, where are they? Let's see.
Well,
okay. I'll tell you.
Okay.
So wait. Cheat on your husband with your husband. And then, I don't have them here. They've disappeared. So tell me the titles of your book. Oh, I have them here. Cheat on your husband with your husband. He's just not your type, and that's a good thing. And the co-author of It's Okay to Sleep with Him on the First Date.
And Every Other Rule of Dating Debunked.
I love that. So great titles.
Thank you.
And so did you come up with the titles? Or?
I did, yeah. I'm a writer, so titles are fun for me. And obviously when you get a book deal, titles are important. You need to sell books. So It's Okay to Sleep with Him on the First Date and Every Other Rule of Dating Debunked is my most recent. And that came from years in this field of love and being frustrated by fear-mongering, like all these fear-based negative rules that people were trying to follow and putting so much pressure on themselves.
Right.
And I've been in this for a while. I've interviewed so many people who have broken a lot of rules and found love. So that's why I wrote that.
So just I want to get a little real and raw with you, because I'm sure, you've done so many interviews and, the typical do's and don'ts of dating and all that stuff. And I love that you kind of break down kind of the 4 areas. And just to recap on those again, you said, tell me again real quick the 4 areas that you...
Well, I think to be in a good relationship, the only checklist we really need to check off is the person I'm with a good lover, partner, companion, and friend.
I love those.
And why I pair those together is because it's not enough to just have a good friend if you have no heat in the bedroom. It's not enough to have heat in the bedroom if someone's disrespectful and not acting like a friend or a companion. So it really needs to work together for a fulfilling romantic relationship.
So beyond your genius around really breaking it, because I know you've done tons of interviews, you've asked people what works, what doesn't work. This girl's a researcher, and so I love that about. I feel like that I'm a total nerd at heart. I love research, but like putting our shoes up on the counter, on the coffee table for a minute and get real. I feel like so many people are so delusional about relationships, about dating. I want to smack my friends across, not literally, but wake up. I think that there's so many fair weather lovers and everyone wants it to be good all the time. And what do you have to say?
It's really simple. The biggest secret that people don't realize when they're tortured in dating is that
it's a great way to say it.
Dating shouldn't be work. Relationships are work sometimes.
Thank you.
Dating shouldn't be work. You shouldn't have to guess too much. Things are surprisingly easy. I can't tell you how many people I've interviewed when they found their match, they said, that was really easy.
Oh, really?
I didn't have to figure out if he was going to call or she was going to call. It was consistent.
So you're
Good
thinking
love is consistent.
So it should be actually easy, you're saying, instead of the opposite.
if you need a mind reader to figure out, I can't tell you, people will send me 3-page long emails and say, can you decode this? Well, already something's up. Like, you shouldn't be in a relationship where you need to be a dating detective and try to decode. So we're adults,
right?
Like
like, of course, I teach metaphysics of relationship, and the truth of the universe is that it's abundant, and there has to be the perfect partner for everyone. And I don't believe in
I don't
believe in one soulmate.
Yes, absolutely. I think people come, we've always heard this, people come into your life at different seasons and for different reasons. There are people I hung out with at 18 who were great for that chapter in my life, who wouldn't be my best friend today. So that's okay. But I think, a soulmate is a really interesting concept. And I think what it boils down to for me, my definition of a soulmate is that I'm not in here, I'm in here. And I know in my heart and my gut that I feel like a good version of myself with the person. Aristotle, like old ancient philosophers, Greek philosophers, have so much wisdom. They should, I almost thought of pitching a dating book just with Plato and Aristotle and all of
their good, right?
Because it's thousands of years old.
What would Plato do? Would Plato sleep with him on the first date?
What would Plato do? But, and Plato talked about the soulmate, two halves becoming whole. Now, I think you need to be two wholes becoming even more whole.
Yeah, for sure.
But Aristotle said, don't confuse immediate gratification and long-term fulfillment if you want to be happy. So what does that mean? It means, don't just get, so many of us, especially in LA and New York where I live, the dangling candy, like the things that will give us immediate gratification.
Sparkly, she's got jewelry on.
I need to
chase that.
Think about in quiet moments, is this someone you want to just hang with?
Right.
Is this someone you really like? Is this someone who, of course you'll have moments where you're annoyed with your partner, but for the most part you shouldn't feel annoyed.
So I know you married your best friend. And you have spoken that he wasn't necessarily your type when you met him. But so how does somebody out there that maybe has a best friend, and maybe they're like, what's the line in the sand that you go, okay, this is my best friend and I'm in love with them, versus this is my best friend and they're trying to make them into somebody that they're in love with?
Well, it actually becomes not a thought but a feeling. Love is a feeling. It's not in here. So for me with Michael's cute and funny and amazing. He just was my friend. I hadn't put him in the box of potential lover. And then my feelings I kept wanting to hang out with my friend. I kept wanting to invite my friend to things. And I kept talking about Michael. And one day my friend Raquel said, are you falling in love with Michael? Because you talk about him. Like school children, we talk about people a lot who we like. Or love in this case.
Like, remember when you're in 6th grade and you're either like, you hate somebody and you're like mean to them because you like them, or you're like your best friend and you just hang out with them more and more and more.
More and more. So Raquel said, are you? And I said, no, he's not my type. And I realized how crazy that sounded. And she said, well, who would you want to be in a foxhole with? Which I thought was an interesting question. Because I was dating at the time a really successful, good-looking man who I thought was my type.
Oh, wow.
And I said, well, the guy I'm dating now would get us out of the foxhole. And she said, that's not the question. You're in the foxhole. Who do you want to be in it with? And I said, well, Michael would make it fun. He would make it cozy.
Oh,
he
wow.
And that was a big light bulb moment for me. And when Michael and I moved to New York to a tiny apartment on Bleecker Street, Michael said to me, welcome to our foxhole.
Oh my gosh, I love
he knew that story.
So we have to take a break, but I want to, that's incredible. So that's a great distinction. Who do you want to be in a foxhole? If you're stuck with somebody, that's a good distinction. So when we come back, I want to dive a little bit more into how to spice things up, because you have a book called Cheating on Your Husband with Your Husband. So how do you actively recreate that spark? So when we come back, stay tuned as we learn a little bit more from this incredible dynamic master.
All right, take a break back.
Okay. Andrea, I can't remember.
Sirtash.
Yeah, okay,
thank
sorry.
you so much.
Okay, we're back with Andrea Sirtash. How do you spell your last name?
Syrtash.
And we're talking about recreating that spark, because one of her books is how, like, cheating on your husband with your husband.
Yeah, cheat on your husband with your husband.
Yeah, so how do you do that?
It's a part of the work of relationships is keeping the play alive. That's really what the book's about. So novelty is a big way to do that, new experiences together. But I also talk about date talk in the book. So think about when you're first dating someone, you don't talk about bills, kids, housework.
Yeah, you're like.
I mean, that's just,
Yeah.
And the average couple with kids, actually, one study showed they speak uninterrupted for 15 minutes or less a day. And anyone watching probably is nodding their head saying, yeah, it's really hard to connect as lovers and partners when we're parents and roommates.
So
important.
Get
through this stuff.
A huge distinction through all the interviews about dating and relationship is the concept of being interested versus interesting. And I agree that when you're on a date, what's so fun about first being in a relationship is people are so interested in you.
Yeah.
They want to learn about you. They want curiosity. Right? It's so sexy when someone's like, so how was your day?
That's right.
What are you doing? What are you up to? It's like, we want to be heard.
Well, this is the biggest complaint I hear from both men and women is a lack of acknowledgement. And what's interesting is that I hear it on a first date and I hear it 10 years into a marriage.
Right.
It's all about acknowledgement. I did a TEDx talk last year called How to Make Love Outside the Bedroom.
I love that.
And it was all about the power of curiosity and acknowledgement, because if you want to impress people, be impressed by them, be curious about them. People want to be seen, heard, and valued. It's a basic human need.
So important. So you also have the distinction of being in love versus falling in love.
Yes.
And what are those, what's the difference, and can you have both?
You can. I mean, our brains are a power. Listen, the brain is always changing. So the good news is the neural pathways are changing. You can trick your brain 10 years into a relationship into having some of that spice again by introducing new activities. But the first phase of love, I can't stress enough that our brain is working really hard for us to get together and hopefully procreate. That's what nature wants.
That's what nature wants.
So
that's what I want. I don't know about you, but
well, you know,
no,
it's a powerful thing, and so all these dopamine and oxytocin, which is when you touch someone, you feel it's a chemical release called oxytocin, which makes you feel more attached.
Next thing you know, there's going to be pharmaceutical companies that are like, you know, recreating. It's going to be like the Spark, the pill. So you can just take
there are versions of aphrodisiac perfumes, and I mean, in general, these things are naturally pumping in your brain to get us to mate. And sometimes we're not thinking clearly. I call romantic love romantic love, because we're insane.
Completely insane.
When we're high in love. And then nature does something really cruel. When we break up with someone that we loved, these happen again.
Wow.
And our brains mirror that of someone with obsessive compulsive disorder.
I've been there, let me tell you.
Everybody through a bad breakup. So this pillow will remind you of your ex.
Isn't it amazing?
That flower will remind you. Anything. Your brain is working to just be obsessively thinking about the person. It's really cruel.
I had a really hard breakup with an addict years ago. It was one of my my bottoms of my life. And it was weird because even in the breakup, even after so many horrific things that had happened, I still missed him. Yeah. And I realized it was this bizarre thing, but I had to surrender, realizing that there was a part of me that still and will always love him. Doesn't mean I wanted to be in a relationship with him.
That's a big love lesson of
life. A huge love
lesson.
To
know that you can love someone and that person's not healthy for you.
Right.
And they can coexist. It's not, I think people think that they can't, and that's why they beat themselves up. You can say, I love him and he's not a good match for me and it's not healthy for me and we're codependent and I need to get out and it's toxic. And I could still wish this person well, and I could still have a place in my heart and still be grateful for some of the good times we had together.
The lessons.
The lessons.
The lessons, for sure.
We all need it.
So thank you so much for coming and taking your time out. And I also, I want to have you back. I feel like you're an expert in dating and relationship, but you're obviously also an expert in your becoming an expert in your branding and your marketing. And I want to give a shout out to Emily Raber, who is how we met, because I work with Emily. She did my reel for a bunch of stuff. And I mean, you're all over the board online. I mean, you're really up to some huge things.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Emily actually produced a pilot we shot for Fox. She's amazing. And I'm so passionate about helping people live and love more authentically. So I'll come back anytime.
Yeah, for sure. Right? I love the conversation of dating, love, and relationship. I feel like it is a time in history that everyone's kind of going, I don't know how to do this, because there's so many new things, new apps, new way to date people, relationships, even the dynamics with millennials are changing. And so I would love to keep having this conversation with you. And you're gonna have to you're gonna give me the skinny, because I know you're a research girl like me. So you're gonna have to send some of that research my way when there's some interesting things. We'll have to keep in contact.
Absolutely.
For sure. So thank you so much. How can they find you on social media?
So my name, if you guys put it up, Andrea Sertash, or if you don't remember my name, my book title, Cheat on Your Husband with Your Husband.
Can't forget
you'll
that
remember
one,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, have a wonderful day, and may you live your truth. Okay, perfect.
Cool.
All right, we're gonna take a couple of pictures. You guys can
Okay,
take your
great.
off.
And I'll grab on my
I'll
phone.
just leave
as
it on
well.
for now.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so great.
Good shout outs to Emily. Well deserved shout outs to Emily. Can I give you
Do you want to come in with us, Emily?
Yeah.
Do you want a picture?
Like 17 pictures.
Oh, well, I want, okay.
Come sit here.
Yeah, so that I'll get it from you. Here, I'll
Can you
sit.
scoop by?
Yeah, whoops. Oh, let me go here. Okay, great. Would you mind if I also give you my camera? That would be awesome. Thank you so much. That was great. So fun. Okay.
Okay.
Are we all in?
Yep.
Okay.
Do you want to do the interview first and then intro after?
That's not good on there. It'd be good if we went over here because the camera, the. Let's go over here real quick because she gets really great pictures on the screen.
Okay.
It looks amazing.
Oh, awesome. Oh, this is a bit high.
Yeah, I know. It's just because something's. Just go ahead.
Okay.
Keep it.
Okay.
Intro?
So Emily, just scoot in a little bit more so you're in the. There you go.
Are we all in?
Right? Okay, there. You're gonna go way in. Oops, wait, I gotta go this way. Okay. Other way.
Like this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Where are we looking though?
Oh, into
Oh,
there.
there.
Yep.
Sorry, I know I'm in the way. Gorgeous. Wait.
Would you mind also taking on mine after? That's such a cute shot.
So you want to stand in front of the couch
Oh, maybe my hair is a mess.
with the couch and the
Your arm.
and your logo.
Ideally, it would be if this is what.
So here, let's take a look at the logo for a second.
Thank you.
Okay, good.
Oh, great.
Great.
Thank you.
One more.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
On that thing. That's fine. Yeah.
Such good lighting in here. You need to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't looking.
All right.
I wasn't looking, sorry. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was great.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank
So great to meet you.
That was so fun.
Go ahead in there. Go on in.
Hi.
Okay, I'm gonna.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Yeah, I think so. I'm Erin. How are you doing?
Grab the wire off to you.
Oh, yes. That would be
Yeah.
good.
That was perfect.
Where am I?
It was so
here.
perfect.
So
Thank you so much.
Gently.
It's over here.
Gently. And Tim says hello.
Let's just grab a picture on the red carpet. On the red carpet over here.
Let me grab one of the.
So when do you go back tomorrow?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Cool.
One of the two of us. Great.
Yeah, here, you want me to take it with
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, I will. I haven't turned on my data yet. Okay.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Perfect. Hi, how are you guys? I'm Erin.